Many of the systems in your motorhome are electrical, and it is important to understand their basic functions in order to get full enjoyment from your RV.
Two kinds of power are used in your unit, 110-volt AC and 12 volts DC. For example, the standard appliances use 110 volts, while some of the lighting in your coach use 12 volts.
The 110-volt power comes from the power cable hookup, the generator, or the optional inverter. The 12-volt power comes from the coach batteries, which are charged by the converter. Standard on London Air units and optional on other motorized units is the Heart Freedom inverter, which functions as both an inverter and a converter. While driving, it inverts 12 volts into 110-volt power and supplies it through the electrical sub-panel located near the main panel. When plugged into an outside power source, it functions as a converter and keeps the batteries charged. For more detailed information, refer to your Heart Freedom Owner's Manual supplied in your owner's packet. Electrical power enters through the main 110-volt circuit breaker panel and the 12-volt fuse box located in the back of the coach. On front-engine models, they are generally under the bed and accessed from a door on the side. On rear-engine models, they are usually in a cabinet over the bed.
Before you connect the RV to 110-volt power, check that your air conditioner and other electrical appliances are off.
A power surge could possibly trip the circuit breaker at the power hookup. To connect the RV to power, run the power cable out through the opening in the floor of the storage compartment and over to the power connection. The proper external hookup is to 110 volt with 30 amp service minimum. Use 50 amp service when available. The compartment door can be closed and locked to keep the contents clean, dry, and secure.
Make sure the pins in the outlet are oriented correctly to match the power cable and are in good condition.
The circuit breaker switch at the plug should be turned off before making the connection. Plug the cable completely into the outlet and turn the circuit breaker on. Close the cover on the power box to avoid an unintended shutoff or disconnection and to keep out any precipitation.
Inside near the entrance doors are the switches for the interior lights and the patio light.
Many light fixtures throughout the coach have individual switches, and the variations let you customize the lighting effects in your RV. If your vehicle has outside security lights, these switches, one for each side of the RV, are also located inside next to the entrance door. On the battery disconnect panel, the battery disconnect switch is used when the unit is to be stored for any period of time. It disconnects the coach house batteries from all circuits in the RV except the LP detector and the chassis batteries. There is also an indicator on this panel that displays the voltage of the coach batteries. The normal reading is near 12.5 volts when not charging and 13.5 volts when charging. The monitor panel has level indicators for the LP gas, fresh water tank, gray water tank, black water tank, and the coach batteries.
The lights measure in percentage from empty to full rather than in gallons or volts. To take a reading, just press and hold the desired button.
The sensors were calibrated to your RV at the factory, but should recalibration of the freshwater, gray water, or black water tank sensors be necessary, you can perform the adjustment yourself. The tank you wish to calibrate must be full.
The freshwater tank is full when overflow occurs during filling. The gray water tank is full when there is standing water in the shower floor. And the black water tank is full when the liquid level will not go down and can be seen in the open toilet valve.
When any one of these conditions exist, check the monitor panel for the indicated level of that tank. If it does not read full, you can adjust the sensor using a small screwdriver until the reading matches the correct level.
Refer to the Newmar Owner's Guide for additional information on this subject.
On some model coaches, the water pump switch is on the right side of the monitor panel. This pump supplies water pressure to the system when you're not hooked up to the city water service. On other model coaches and all rear-engine models, the water pump switch will be separate from the monitor panel, and there is more than one switch. Any one of these switches will turn the pump on or off. Throughout your unit, you will find conveniently located 110-volt receptacles, some of which are ground fault circuit interrupt outlets. The GFCI outlets function as local circuit breakers.
They are tested by pressing the test button and are reset by pressing the reset button.
If there is a fault on the electrical circuits associated with one of these outlets, the test button will trip.
Before resetting the outlet after a fault, isolate and disconnect the problem device.
GFCI breakers protect the outlets located on the slide-out room.
If the outlets don't have power, check the GFCI outlets in the kitchen or bathroom.
In the front of the motorhome, at the driver's position, are the controls for several other electrical circuits. The courtesy light switch turns on the coach lights mounted near the floor. The over-dash light is turned on and off by the headlight switch on the dash or the switch on the fixture. If the fixture switch does not turn the light on, rotate the panel switch to the full counterclockwise position. The switch located on the dash panel marked ICC flasher is a momentary switch for flashing the clearance lights. The overhead defroster fan is controlled from the dash switches marked overhead fan, and the fan speed is selected from the switch marked high, medium, low. The battery boost switch temporarily connects the coach batteries to the engine start circuits when additional power is needed for starting. The optional flood spotlight is selected with the switch on the dash and aimed by the joystick mounted above. Extra positions are for if installed switches, such as indicated by the legend, or other circuits you may wish to add. There are two 12-volt outlets located on the dash that can be used for any necessary device that plugs into a cigarette lighter, such as a cellular telephone or portable computer. There are also two cigarette lighters, one on each side of the RV, outboard of the seats in the ashtray. The remote generator start-stop switch is mounted on the dash. When the generator is running, the light in the switch will be lit. On units with PowerTech generators, there's a preheat switch next to the start-stop switch. The location of the generator varies. Access is gained by opening the compartment door or by pulling the generator out on the service slides. In all cases, the oil dipstick, the manual choke, and the manual start switches are handy for servicing the unit. Most generators have an hour meter, which counts the time the unit has accumulated while in use. This is important because running time determines the generator service schedule. The fuel for the generator usually comes from the main engine fuel tank. In the tank is a standpipe that stops the fuel flow to the generator before the engine tank is empty. This feature prevents being stranded for lack of fuel. Dutch Star rear engine models use an LP conversion kit generator, and they operate from the onboard LP gas supply.